Hey guys, Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, fredmccoy.com. This is going to be more FS Investigates than Museum. Once again guys, this video is going to be about Daniel Penny. This will probably be the last one we do on Sergeant Daniel Penny.
Okay. Penny's
the man that's charged with choking the guy up in New York, and they've got him up on manslaughter charges. He was a hero, and now they've got him on charges. Now, we've gone over 2 other videos, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Anybody that's watched our videos knows how we feel. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day.
How could I forget you?
It's all good, no worries.
So, we're just going to touch base on a couple of things. Sheila and I have been doing some research on some things that we wasn't that knowledgeable about. And let's just go over one thing. The medical examiner in this case, Dr. Cynthia Harris, said that Jordan Neely had died from asphyxiation, from compression to the neck. Now, remember that in the beginning, the first day or so, she couldn't determine a cause of death. And then she said she saw the video on TV and she realized then it was a chokehold that killed him. Well, we want to go over some of that because it seems no matter what they would bring up, thank you, babe, they had an excuse for whatever it was. She would. Whatever the defense brought up. And you know, that reminds me of an old saying, if you want to do something, you'll make a way. But if you don't want to do something, you'll find an excuse. And that's just the way life is. So if you want something to look one way or the other way, you can find yin and yang on both. And, you know, sometimes people misunderstand just because somebody's got a degree in something, they think, oh, that person, there's no way they could make a mistake. There's no way they could have personal feelings. There's no way they could let their personal feelings or politics or anything influence their opinion or what they're giving out as evidence. And what I want to go through here is she said that it was low oxygen situation.
Okay.
Sheila and I brought this up in other videos. And we asked, could it have been a heart attack? Could it have been Narcan? Could it have been sickle cell? That was the disease that Sheila and I, we wouldn't name it because that was in his personal medical history and we didn't want to put it out there, but now it's out there now. They put it out in court.
Right.
He did have sickle cell anemia. He had that disease, and which deals with your blood cells and it deals with oxygenated blood cells.
Okay.
He was also on drugs. In fact, the police thought he had overdosed. And he very well could have, and they gave him Narcan.
Right.
Now, how much Narcan did they give them? We was reading this morning that if it's a bad overdose, that they may give you 2 or 3 units of Narcan.
Yep.
And especially if a person's allergic to it. Now, we couldn't find anything. We've talked about it, and we've said, well, maybe he's allergic to Narcan. Nobody had commented in the comments or anything, so we said, well, let's just start researching. And we did. We don't know how we got to this point. This man is a hero. He should have never been charged with a crime. He should have been treated as such. But now that we're there, we have to show that there's reasonable doubt. That defense team has to show that there's reasonable doubt as to his guilt in order to get that jury to acquit that man. Now let's go back here. Your sickle cell causes low oxygen in the blood. It blocks the oxygen off.
Okay.
Now, K2, that's a synthetic drug, and it's also called spice. They mix something with marijuana. Back in the old days, you'd lace marijuana with some kind of a hallucinogenic or whatever. They'd put it over top of it, they'd smoke it, and they would get high. And now evidently it's called spice.
Really?
And I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but the spice could be anything from rat poison. Can you overdose on synthetic weed? Can you overdose on K2? Because this doctor, she makes a statement in her testimony that says, oh, there's no way to tell you how much quantity of K2 he had in his system. We can't quantify it in an autopsy. Well, where a marijuana overdose may be life-threatening, and you can overdose on synthetic weed, K2, and the results in this case can be fatal. You can die from an overdose of K2. Now, it wasn't important enough to her. She said, oh, he could have had so much fentanyl in his system, but he still died of the choke. We don't believe that. That was not a choke. Unless the person knows about blood restraints, that was nothing more than a rear neck restraint hold. Mm-hmm. That was not a choke. His oxygen was not cut off, at least not from that restraint hold.
Exactly.
Spice, aka K2, becoming more readily available. It's a plant material coated with the synthetic cannabinoids or other similar substances which a person can smoke, and it offers a higher high. Contrary to popular belief, K2 or spice is not safe and can have many serious side effects and even death.
Well, it can affect different people in different ways. What might be okay for you might not be okay for me.
Yeah. Well, especially when you've got sickle cell.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got other mental issues. Or what other drugs, prescribed drugs, was he on for his mental problem that they say he had?
Okay.
On top of that, it's incredibly addictive and can result in extreme withdrawals of people who discontinued after prolonged use. Maybe he was needing something. Maybe he needed a fix. That's why he got on the subway acting like he did. Side effects of spice. Spice is a synthetic drug made in illegal labs. You know, guys, you got to understand here. First of all, the man got on the subway threatening to kill people. Yeah. He's already at fault. No matter what happens, nobody just jumped on this fellow when he got on that subway. He got on there threatening to kill people and scaring people, and that's when he acted. But even if he hadn't, here you are with an illegal substance. Now he's got 2 marks. He's got 3 marks because he's got 42 arrests in his background. 4 marks because he's got an arrest warrant out for him on that particular day for pushing a woman in front of a subway bus. But he's also got illegal drugs in his system. Nobody put them there except him. He voluntarily put those illegal drugs in his system. So he's already broken the law. He's already fooling with an illegal substance. Variations in quantities or chemicals composition change can result in a spice drug overdose or side effects, mild or extremely dangerous. Some samples have even been known to contain rat poison and pesticides. Imagine sprinkling your marijuana, your synthetic marijuana, or the drug that you're using. Imagine sprinkling that with rat poison.
Dang, that's crazy.
Or a pesticide of some sort. That's how they get their high.
Whoa.
Short-term effects, the extent of which the drug can affect the human body and health depends on the individual factors, Sheila, you're right.
Yeah.
Such as age, genetics, metabolism, and others. The side effects of synthetic marijuana can be observed right from the first use. After short-term use, a range of effects can be mild and treatable to severe long-term use. No doubt he's a long-term user. As the use prolongs, these effects can get worse with time and may even lead to death.
Wow.
Say no to drugs, guys. You know, we always seem to blame everybody else. You know, back years ago when there was a shooting or a choking or whatever, everybody said, hands up, don't shoot. Do this, do that. But yet you don't see people hands up. You still see people resisting arrest and people wondering why a police officer was forced. Oh, I know there's plenty out there too of not been forced. Sheila and I, we researched that a while back, and we realized cops are not always in the right. But guys, we can't blame everything on color. We can't blame everything on just a bad rap. So all we had to do was say no to the drugs. We could have ruled that one out. There wouldn't even be any question that he died from drugs if he hadn't had drugs in his system. If he... There you go. I wanted to read you something about K2, Spice, Narcan. You got to understand, they gave this man Narcan. How much Narcan did they give him? And the drug that's in Narcan, Sheila may have to help pronounce it, naloxone. That's the drug that is in Narcan that helps with the drug overdose. And just going to read this real fast, but Narcan can cause an allergic reaction in some people. That was our question in the beginning. The first thing the police did when they got there was they thought he was overdosed, and he very well possibly could have been, because there's no way to quantify how much K2, rat poison, or anything else that he had in his system that day. There's no way.
Well, my thing is, what symptoms did he have that they would think that he had an overdose?
Probably his looks, and probably just the condition that he was in. Okay. Once again, he was breathing, had a heartbeat when they got there. When Penny turned him over to the police, this man was breathing, a living human being. It took 20 minutes. I'm not condemning people, but it took 20 minutes for the rescue squad to get there. Now, if we're going to spread out this blame, Alvin Bragg, let's spread it out to the two gentlemen that helped hold him down, along with Penny. Why wasn't 3 people indicted? Why wasn't 3 people charged? Why wasn't the police the rescue? You know, they say that sometimes they give multiple doses of Narcan. If he's allergic to 1, then 2 or more definitely going to make it worse. It says about Narcan, it says allergic reactions can be mild or serious and may include, it goes down with a whole list. But the main one here is swelling of your mouth, tongue, or throat, which can make it hard or impossible to breathe.
Yeah.
Serious allergic reactions such as swelling of or trouble breathing can be life-threatening and require medical care.
Yeah.
The police gave him the Narcan. They need medical care. Medical care is 20 minutes away. What caused Neely's death? Heart attack, overdose, sickle cell, Narcan. Was he allergic to naloxone? Was he allergic to it? If someone is allergic to Narcan or naloxone, an alternative treatment should be sought immediately in an emergency of opioid. So they wouldn't be talking, the point of that paper was that they wouldn't be talking about an allergic reaction if there wasn't people that was allergic to it.
Right. There's a possibility that, you know, everybody could be allergic to
it may be 1 in 1,000. It may be like that movie, Dumb and Dumber, where he says, "Can we go out?" And she said, "No." He said, "Is there a chance?" And she said, 1 in 1,000,000. And he said, "Oh, so you're saying there's a chance?" Now, he's an optimistic person, but one in a, if there's 1 in 1,000,000,
there's a chance. There's a chance.
What if he was the one?
Yeah.
Side effects from naloxone are rare, but people might have allergic reactions.
Yeah.
And especially cocaine. Well, you know, some people spice or lace their synthetic marijuana or marijuana with cocaine. Angel dust was what they used back in the 70s. Angel dust, it was called hallucinogenic, and people would put that on their marijuana and smoke it, and they would start hallucinating. That's when they were jumping out of 2nd story or 5th story buildings. And symptoms of an allergic reaction can include, and it goes through the list, coughing, wheezing, or breathlessness. Breathlessness means you're not breathing. Swollen eyes, lips, mouth, and throat. You know, anything dealing with your throat, there's 3 times that we've mentioned the throat. So anything dealing with his throat, irritated, could have very well come from the naloxone, the Narcan. Also, some opiates are stronger, might require multiple doses.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, I
Of
read
naloxone,
that.
yeah.
But you're supposed to monitor them and to make sure that everything is okay, that, you know, it's not affected them in a negative way.
They should be monitored for another 2 hours
Yeah.
after the last dose of naloxone, and make sure that their breathing does not stop or slow. Guys, all we wanted to do once again, I'm not going to cover it all. Sheila, thanks for joining there a couple of times, because you're a lady of short of a few words, but when you speak, it's you made some good points. We just can't understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, he was a good Samaritan.
There's so many variables here. Had there been nothing else, no drugs in his system, no Narcan used, no sickle cell, no, that's not a problem of his own. That's a medical condition. Sickle cell, I didn't read it there, but sickle cell, what it does is it prevents oxygenated blood from getting to your brain. The same way as the rear neck restraint would do, or the sleeper. See, again, that doesn't mean just because he's got him in that hold that he's applying any pressure.
So, with any stress, that could compound it?
That's what they said. That's what the medical examiner said. That they had to narrow her down. The defense had to keep going after her till finally she admitted. They said, could this have caused? And she said, well, it's unlikely. They said, could it have caused? And she said, yes, it could. Okay. There's our 1 in a million chance that it could have caused. Narcan, he could have been allergic to. The sickle cell, the K2, what kind of spice was it spiced up with? What are they using?
Yeah. Wow.
Justice for Daniel Penny, guys. Justice for Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
You know,
just like the gentleman the other day, nobody stopped him, and look, he
3 people dead.
Yeah.
3 people dead while this trial's been going on. A man walked all over New York stabbing different people. People was following him. A taxi cab driver followed him while he was stabbing people. He wanted to intervene. He didn't want to intervene. Was it because he was afraid of the knife, or was it because he was afraid of Alvin Bragg and the justice system there in New York? It's sad.
Yeah.
This is a very sad case. I mean, whether it's a Marine, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, National Guard, this is a military veteran that stepped up.
Thought he was doing right by protecting the people on that subway. But they've turned him into a villain.
Yeah.
Right.
Justice for Daniel Penny. Hopefully, guys, they'll acquit him. Hopefully, he's found not guilty.
We hope so.
And if he's not found not guilty, hopefully at least somebody will hang the jury so it's a mistrial. But we're hoping for a not guilty verdict so people can go on and continue to help each other throughout life when there's, again, I've said it on every video, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away. And we all know that's true. Nothing against police.
No.
But
it's just the way
you don't make an appointment to have an officer around when you're going to commit a crime. So, thanks, guys. From Sheila and I, and Sheila, you can finish up there.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. God bless, by the way.
God bless.